So as you can see, cartoons are not only fun, but they can be used as a unique way of expressing criticism. And this is especially true because images can convey messages in ways that cannot be done by just simply words or articles or literary works.
That's why they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, right, Paul?
Very much so.
That's right, and cartoonists can combine humor with the latest political news to reinforce their message. They usually do this by focusing on the more ridiculous aspects of a story. Now let's talk more about political cartoons with Malaysian cartoonist Zulfikri Anwar Hulk, or more commonly known as Zunar. Good morning, Zunar. How are you?
Morning.
Yeah, morning and selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi.
I'm fine.
Thank you for joining us on the
How about
morning
you all
show
in
today.
Jakarta?
We are doing much better now than we had been in the past several months, so we hope it continues to stay that way. This is a very interesting topic for us to discuss today because on one hand, people sometimes just see cartoons as something light, but obviously you have proven otherwise. So what role does a cartoonist play in politics, in your opinion?
Yeah, first of all, there are so many categories of cartoons, yeah, and there are some family cartoons, there are cartoons for teenagers like manga, and they have all have their own roles. But I'm not in that category. I'm a political cartoonist. So we talk about the role of political cartoonist today. It is very simple. The role is very simple in one sentence. The role of political cartoonist is to criticize the government of the day, period. So we act as a watchdog. We monitor corruptions, injustices, and wrongdoings by the government.
And I think most of the time when on a larger scale, sometimes we think cartoon and politics are on opposite ends of the spectrum. But for you, where do you draw inspiration from when making your political cartoons, and how long does it usually take for you to finish a project?
Yes, the inspiration is very easy if you live in a country like Malaysia. I don't know whether other Asian country we have this phenomena that politics in Malaysia is very funny. So the politicians that give me an idea every day. So it is the politics, the politics scenario that's really important for me. And this is about the time, how long it takes. Yeah. So this is for me is totally different compared to others because I spend more time in composing cartoons.
Right.
To me, that to get an idea, to make sure that it is can be understood, and to make my stand very clear, to check the facts about the issue, because this is very dangerous. Some we are talking about issue about corruption as example.
Right.
We need to get the figure correct. If not, we will be in trouble. So I will this process of composing it may take up to 10 hours.
Wow.
And to draw maybe 1 or 2 hours.
Okay. Well, this basically, it makes sense to me because a lot of times when we see political cartoons, we see it in one frame, but there's so many messages in that one frame. For one, the main message, but then the joke that's kind of putting it all together so that, yeah, you don't have like a whole page to do several kind of different pictures to explain a story. You have to do it all in one frame, which is why I think the composition is a little tricky. But I remember when I was a lot younger, when we used to get the paper delivered to our house back in Toronto, I remember that the one thing I would always look for, because as a kid, I wasn't really into politics,
right.
but I would always read the political cartoon because at least I got the joke out of it, but then I might understand the story from there. Do you think this is the reason why cartoons are a good way to provide not only social criticism, but they also seem to be more welcomed by the public compared to, say, the heavier written articles or even videos?
Yes, that is very true, because cartoon have so many advantages. So, as example, they are very funny, and people live in depression worlds now. People need jokes every day.
Yes.
People want to laugh, so that's why they look for cartoon, and also it's carry pictorial images, which is people love to see picture nowadays. And the important thing is it's very quick. The message in there is very very quick. So people are very lazy to read nowadays.
Right.
You have to accept that all over the world.
Very
People
true.
are very lazy to read, and also it is a universal. That and you mentioned earlier that children also can read. Also, it's beyond social and age, gender and everything.
Yeah.
So, but the most important thing is I want to highlight here. If you're drawing cartoon in Asia or ASEAN especially, or in Malaysia especially, where we are facing repressive regimes. So that is why cartoon is a best way to protest. So I always say that if you cannot beat them, laugh at them. And cartoon is is the best protest. Laughter is the best protest actually. So because it's very safe. So I always say to people, if you don't know, you're afraid to go to the street. Yes, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Because there are some issues around you, but you can laugh at them.
Yeah.
Nobody can do anything if you laugh at them.
Yeah.
No dictator or regime can stand if you laugh at them.
Yeah, it seems to me, Zunar, that also if you express yourself in the form of a cartoon, which is a humorous drawing, it almost seems to me that you can get away with a little bit more. You can push the boundaries a little bit more, because it's kind of like, well, I'm making a joke, even though there's truth behind that joke. However, we have just seen videos as well of the blowback that you've had over the years from certain messages that you're sending out. Are you are you afraid of any of this coming to a head? And how do you build up the courage to face something like this if you know that what you're going to put out next is probably going to irk the government a little bit, or whoever it is that's being criticized at that time? How do you face that, knowing that this is something that is putting you at risk?
Yes, this is also very important point. But before that, we need to understand, if you ask, what is the biggest enemy of political cartoons? Many people say that it's the government,
Right.
or the laws. Actually, no. The biggest enemy of political cartoonists are self-censorship. So when you start, like the point you mentioned just now, when I start to draw, if I start to think that if I draw like this, the police will come,
Right.
at the end of political cartoonists. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't think. For me, when I draw what I'm supposed to draw. I don't care what the government will do.
Right.
So this is important. So self-censorship. So, but in terms of motivation, people say, okay, then why you want to go on? No, for me, it's very simple. It's very simple that everybody need to understand that both of you, Paul and Karina, you can draw cartoon because you're not born with talents. I was born with cartooning talent, so I'm the chosen one,
Right.
and this is very very important to understand that. That is why I not need to go to the universities to learn how to be a cartoonist. I was born with that talent, so it is important to understand that talent is not a gift for myself.
Right.
Talent is a responsibility. I need to use this talent for benefit of others.
Right. You wouldn't want to see my cartoons anyway. I'm a horrible drawer.
His jokes
My
are
message
funny,
wouldn't
though.
come across ever.
I think I'm the one who's better at drawing, and you're the one better at jokes. So maybe together
we
we
should
can be
become
a
a
team.
team.
There we
Correct.
go.
But you're a good host.
Thank
Oh, at least there's that. That's good to know.
Cheers.
And I mean, you're incorporating your cartoons and politics, but for you, what do you think of Malaysian politics, especially now following Muhyiddin's departure from office, Zunar?
Yeah, the problem of Malaysian politics for past few years is there is no reform at all. You keep changing prime ministers, but nobody care about reform. So this is the overall situation of Malaysian politics. That is why we are actually going backward in terms of human rights, in terms of freedom of expression, and in terms of economy. So this is very, very dangerous, and we keep going back. So for me, that is why when people ask, okay, why we are a very small country, why it's so difficult to fight COVID pandemic?
Yeah.
For me, it is one word that's very important. When the government is weak, the virus becomes stronger.
That's a good point.
So let's example, in Malaysia there is no transparency. There's no transparency COVID dealing, as example, by the government. So we really don't know what happened, and this is so important to point it out that normally during COVID is the best time for any government to corrupt.
Right, definitely. And we do know the situation is quite dire now, and we hope that the change in government, no matter how slight, will help to improve that. We're actually out of time, but I want to ask you about one last thing. Every time we show a video, we've seen you a t-shirt with it, we've seen the picture. Your slogan is, "How can I be neutral? Even my pen has a stand." What does that mean?
Yes, you see, this is. Can you see this? This is my pen stand. Yeah? So the case that I used to put my pen before and after drawing.
Right.
So I'm very annoyed to see that so many people don't want to make stand in the country. And for me, I believe that is the reason why. That's the reason why we are in this situation right now, because people don't want to make stand. So that's why, based on my pen stand, I make a very strong slogan: how can I be neutral? Even my pen has a stand. I believe that when we have a moral crisis in front of us, there is no way to be neutral. You have to make a stand. If you don't, that means that you are giving a signal to corrupt government to do more, because nobody cares. So this is so important for me. Why we are in this situation now? Because people all want to say neutral, and for me, neutrality is escapism.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point that you made, Zunar, because a lot of people seem to think, oh, if I'll just stay neutral, I won't say anything because that's the best way to be.
Safer, yeah.
But actually, that's the worst way to be. You need to choose a side and stick with it. Thank you so much for your time, Zunar. We really appreciate this talk. We seldom get to talk about this kind of stuff, political cartoons.
Right.
Please stay safe out there. We hope the situation continues to improve in Malaysia, and we hope to talk to you again really soon.
Thank you, Zunar.
Take care.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Have a great day.